So I want to touch just briefly because the word nobody ever wants to say is euthanasia. And I think we talked when we did earlier about the difference between warehousing, and, not the warehousing versus euthanasia, that whole dilemma, like that many shelters have either warehoused and closed their doors, um, or done anything to avoid humane euthanasia and turned it into being the absolute worst outcome when it used to be part of it, animal sheltering, period. It's just part of it, and it's part of the thing. Now it's become the worst possible thing. It's seen as a failure, and it's not a failure of the shelter. So can you talk a little bit about your thoughts on euthanasia and warehousing and that whole challenge?
You know, so in 1994, when I was just a baby and I was starting my career in animal welfare for the Austin Humane Society, who uses no-kill terminology. Um, and I am still, my best friend's sister runs that organization. We are very close. Okay.
Mhm.
So I started there. I have a big love for Austin Humane Society, but we use different terminologies.
Mhm.
So I I have struggled with that terminology since the 90s when it first started showing up in pamphlets in our organization because I didn't understand it. And the reason I didn't understand it was because I was clinic supervisor and I was euthanizing animals, right?
Mhm.
So it's very clear to me what no kill started as was, well, we don't euthanize adoptable animals, right? We don't euthanize healthy, adoptable animals with sound temperaments. Okay, well, what about the animals that are severely aggressive and it's not responsible to put them in the community? What about the animals that are not medically treatable, that have conditions that are going to cause this animal to suffer? What about those animals? Well, they're not in that classification, so we can still say we're no kill. Well, no, the general public doesn't believe that because the general public doesn't understand that because they hear no kill, which means nothing is euthanized. So when an animal is euthanized and someone, a volunteer, someone from the public, someone, whatever, finds out that organization has euthanized said animal, you've now lost credibility
Mhm.
from the very people that are trying to support you. And I think that is a problem. The bigger problem is what you're doing to that individual animal for the purpose of using terminology that, in my opinion, was created to bring in donor dollars. And I'm just going to say it. I mean, because people don't understand it. So they're looking at your supporting your organization who uses no kill terminology, or they're going to support the organization that doesn't, the limited intake kill shelter.
Mhm.
So no kill terminology now pits these two organizations against each other who should be working together for
Right.
all of these animals, right? And
Mhm.
so when an organization shuts its doors and chooses to not take the sick animals or the animals that have bitten someone and sent a child to the hospital, right? Bite to the face. Um, I'm not taking those because I'm limited intake. I'm no kill. They go to the city facility who now has to shoulder that and do what's right for the animal and for the community. These two
Mhm.
things are humane and being responsible to the community should go hand in hand, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, so when you have organizations that feel the pressure of being judged for euthanizing animals or having death threats from the community because they're euthanizing animals, because the general public doesn't understand what no kill means.
Mhm.
Um, I think that we're doing a disservice to the animals, we're doing a disservice to the community we serve, and we're doing a disservice to ourselves. Our staff, our teams, our volunteers, our board of directors, those of us that are doing the work to care for these animals every day. And we have this pressure on each other to achieve a number, I think that that's kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good word
Like,
for it.